Dude, where was the skill? Where was the strategy? I mean, shoot, drive, nothing.
Those games had both skill and strategy. You're racing in a city, going 100 miles per hour, blasting everything as you go. Speed, strategy, skill. Those games were awesome.
Maybe back in your day, sweetheart, but look, you name me one car combat game that was as good on PlayStation 1, kicked ass on PlayStation 2, and kicked even more ass on PS3. The ultimate ass kicking. Name it.
I think I know where this is going, but I have an even better suggestion for you. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Alrighty, I'm still trying to find myself in this content creating thing. I've spent, as of this video, almost an entire month trying to edit a review for another game that I've enjoyed that has a big emphasis on story, but the unedited runtime was extensive.
1 hour and 33 minutes to be exact.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Chip. It's good to know that I can continue to count on that blabbermouth of yours.
Anytime, boss.
All right. If anyone was wondering, this is Chip. Some sort of onboard computing thing I found when I was poking around in my new home.
Excuse me. My full name is Companion Hardware Interface Processor.
But, well, that's a bit of a mouthful, don't you think? Anyways, due to how long the other video is turning out to be, I decided to put it on the back burner and work on something a little less story-focused and a lot more ridiculous, a lot more fun, and just out there all in general. And what's more ridiculous and out there than a game about car combat? Car combat games are just what you'd expect out of the name. You drive around with all sorts of vehicles and try to completely obliterate the competition using weapons and all sorts of power-ups. Alright, let's see, you got games like the illustrious franchise Twisted Metal, you got Vigilante 8, you got Carmageddon, you got Roadkill. So today we'll be talking about one that I played as a kid, one that really stuck out to me as being fun, unhinged, and just downright loony as all hell. I'm of course talking about Road Trip Vacation 2012.
It is the year 2012. The world is crumbling into a new dark age. Disease and poverty run rampant in a world scourged by desolation, pollution, radiation, and despair.
But hey! Don't let that spoil your day. Take a vacation! Are you literally dying to go on vacation? Well, now's the time to make your dream come true with a luxurious visit to one of Big Daddy's vacation wonderlands. By the sweat and blood of those zany, wacky, oppressed lower classes, Big Daddy's made his little paradises shine like gemstones amidst the teeming crud of our sad little dying world. Aren't you glad you can afford it? So call now! Operators are standing.
Hey losers, need a vacation? Can't afford one of Big Daddy's snob fests? Don't despair, fight back. Hire an auto mercenary. These professional party crashers will hijack you on a high-speed, high-thrill, totally unauthorized vacation deep into the very heart of Big Daddy Land. And at a fraction of the cost. Our tricked-out battle rigs are fully loaded attack vehicles, armed to the teeth and ready for anything Big Daddy can throw at us. We fight the fights so you can see the sights. This has been a totally illegal, unpaid announcement for the Amalgamated Association of Auto Mercenaries. We now return you to your regularly scheduled crap! So you want to be an auto mercenary, huh?
This has got to be one of my favorite intros to a game ever. It's so heckin' out there! But not to mention, it also covers the narrative to what's going on. In fact, I think it's the only narrative that we get in general. Alright, driver choosing time. It's time to select our auto mercenary. All right, first up we got the Meat Wagon. A very unique name for a car. The driver is Richard Dick Biggs. Special weapon is the Weenie Whacker. Okay. Alright, so don't be fooled by size. In Biggs's case, a little goes a long way. He stands up against the toughest adversaries. If you think he's easily taken out, well, you don't know Dick. Yeah. And it gives you a list of the top speed, the handling, and the armor there, so that's nifty.
You want mustard on that?
Alright, next up is the Destroying Angel. And we got the driver being Sister Mary Lascivious. Special weapon is Torched by an Angel. She's one mean sister with a very nasty habit. Mary has a penchant for discipline and her own cult following. Her divine missile, Guidance, will have you begging for mercy. Ah!
Get down on your knees.
And then we got Pyro. What's your deal, sir? And or madam, or thing, or object, or whatever have you. The driver is Necrobot. Special weapon is Vapor Cloud. This fugitive from the junk heap has a one-track, processor. Huh. If it's flammable or explosive, this guy is into it.
Hot enough for you?
And we get a vehicle by the name of Biohazard. Driver is Agent Orange. Special weapon is Azumi rockets. He escaped chemical warfare duty in his top-secret tank. A mysterious man with a unique aura about him. He's never without a gas mask, elbow-length gloves, and a Fallout suit. Cool!
I love the smell of anthrax in the morning.
Alright, what else we got? The Intruder, with a very unique-looking driver. Ratman! Special weapon, the Ripper. This little weasel has a real nose for crime. Ratman's motto, man by day, rat by night, saving others from their plight. Oof. Definitely a character.
Scoundrels beware!
Oh yeah, here we go. Ozone. I remember this one. I picked it because it's an ambulance and I like the flashing lights. Schizomanic. Special weapon, shock treatment. This wigged out nutcase has a shock treatment hairdo and an ear-to-ear grin. Still wearing the straitjacket he escaped in, Shizo drives it with his bare feet, which is a feat in itself.
Nope, that was a bad joke, boss. Off to the cannon with you.
Wait, what? Chip? Where am I going? Chip?
Now where were we? Ah, yes. Bitchin' Wheels! The driver's name is Bunny, and her special weapon is Poodle Power. This big-haired former beauty queen has traded her scepter for a sawed-off. She can forget about winning Miss Congeniality this time.
Hey, wait just one second. You get out of there.
Eep, how did you get back so fast?
I wore my hiking boots today, and I ate my cardio flakes with skim milk.
Please don't delete me.
I'd never do that anyway. I'll just probably draw on your screen with a Sharpie. That'll be my revenge. Now get out of here. Up next, the car is Rock and Rule. The driver is Elvis D. Kang. Special weapon is his glitter rocket. D. Kang strikes a cruel chord with an arsenal that can only be measured in megatons. This jumpsuited throwback really knows how to rock your world. Because, you know, the oh. Alright, and then we got Gator Bait. Driver is Daisy June McCoy, and the special weapon is Chicken Lickin'. Once a stump-jumping bayou racer, Daisy June has converted her airboat into a prop-driven instrument of destruction guaranteed to slit your chitlins. What did I just say? I don't know what I just said.
Come on, let's wrestle.
Next up is Sidewinder. Driver is Snake Eye Shaddock. Special weapon is Exploding Arrow. This cyber cowboy is a hard-driving, high-strung hard case with a mechanical arm and a monocular laser sight from which he takes his name. Yeehaw?
Here, spit in your eye.
And last but not least, we got Vermin, driven by Francis Legs McGee. Specialty weapon is Disrupto Ray. This former pro wrestler is a sensitive guy who knows how to hurt. He prefers to run away and then pounce when you least expect it. I see, it's to make fun of him. Right.
I'll put the hurt on him.
And before we get started, we need a little bit of an explanation of how to play the game. So let's go to school and learn some merconomics.
All right, listen up. I'm only going over this once. You need cash. You get cash from the tourist. Find the tourist, make a slow pass by him, and he'll jump in. If another merc's already got him, you can pop him right out with a good old ejector weapon, then pick him up. Now, to get the payoff, you've got to get the tourist to the photo op. Find one on radar, drive in and stop. When you see the flash, he'll cough up the cash. Use your cash for weapons upgrades, repairs, and a little bit of first aid. Your road trip is over when you've blasted all the competition. That's it. It's that simple. Go get yourself a tourist. And start showing him the sights.
You heard the man. Let's go see some sights. Alrighty, so it kind of shoves you into the game right after that. No real explanation on the controllers. But wait, that song. What? Great googly moogly! It's the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones! Now, obviously, that's not really them. It's just a MIDI track that I found online, since the game actually uses one of their legit tracks, Rascal King, specifically from their live album Live from the Middle East, where they did a live show in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in a restaurant nightclub called the Middle East. It is off-the-cuff madness the moment you start, in the first stage in X-Lax, which is kind of baffling. Not just because it's taking place in an actual known place that exists in reality here, but the fact that it's running like a regular airport. We're running into planes all over the place. I assume that no one said we should shut down the airport. We're literally just... we're mayhem on the tarmac while it's still active. Does Big Daddy own the airport? Why the hell are there photo ops just sprinkled all over the tarmac? Look, I worked at airports both as a gate agent and ground crew, and I'm like 90% sure this breaks at least all of the rules for the FAA. Am I thinking too hard about the realism in a car combat game set in 2012, but it was made back in 1998?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you probably are, boss.
Anyways, having chosen the barbed wire school bus of doom, it has warranted me a few things. One, I'm beefy, and I can take a few hits before it starts to really drain my health. However, two, due to my beefiness, this thing handles worse than a damn Panzer tank. The only way you can maneuver effectively is to try to swing around to face people who are trying to gank you. And the only way to do that is by applying the handbrakes that lets you just freaking power slide across several feet before you can actually turn and face the person, which can make things a little challenging when you're trying to face someone who's just driving circles around you. So if you're wondering if the vehicle stats matter, boy howdy do they ever. After you complete a stage, you also get a brief rundown on how long it took you to take down the other drivers, your hit ratio, your damage per hit, and the amount of photos you were able to take at all the photo ops available. I imagine getting all of them can be pretty hard, seeing as how you have auto mercenaries up your proverbial butt at all times. Alrighty, get your things packed, cause we're going to Daddywood, yeah! A ritzy compound of some sort that looks very reminiscent of ye old Hollywood Ritz. Not too much to this area other than some hidden areas behind walls and lots of lush areas to explore and explode your enemies in. Next up is the mall, and apparently it looks like we're now fully in Big Daddy territory, or at least I think we are. I'm pretty sure he just straight up just bought the Washington, D.C. Mall area, where the Capitol and the White House are at. Also, one of the fattest beats in the whole game, the Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, you know he's living large, and everybody in the world knows he's in charge. The Big Daddy, he's the place to be, but you gotta be rich to afford to be the Big Daddy. Say you want to stay, he's in the White House now, so you have to pay the Big Daddy. Who's here to protect you? Big Daddy. Who will never forget you? Big Daddy. Bow down.
At this point, the difficulty seems to be ramping up a bit. Enemies now do a better job at evading and take the fight even harder to you. Found myself at the receiving end of countless passenger ejections, too. Bring them back here. Oh man, it's just like real life. Everyone, salute our national landmark. Ye gads, that was kind of brutal. Well, I can only wander around the ruins of DC like in Fallout 3 for so long. What else is in this madhouse? Oh, but of course, Area 51. You know, I'm starting to think that there's no rhyme or reason for Big Daddy's property purchases. If it looks neat, hell yeah, buy that shiz. That'll net me some profit from would-be tourists. Alright, nobody panic. I think I found the secret base. And no Area 51 is complete without a transport beam that takes you to the moon! Oh my god, I hate it here though. They try to simulate the gravity on the moon and it makes just handling a complete nightmare. I couldn't get anywhere without just bouncing around slowly and it was awful. How do I get back into the platform? I want to get off the moon!
Why don't you look at the instruction manual?
What? Chip, I lost that thing ages ago. It's probably as lost as my old SNES mouse pad, which was essentially just a square piece of plastic with the Nintendo logo on it.
I could just find it for you, you know? I mean, I'm essentially a computer after all, and, you know, the internet is a thing.
Yeah, would you mind seeing if you can find a spare copy of the instruction manual, please?
I'm on it.
Thank you. Thankfully, there was at least one copy of the instruction manual that somebody over at gamesdatabase.org was nice enough to take the time to upload. Thank you! Though, I kinda have a sneaking suspicion that this mayhaps was supposed to be in color. I mean, I can't remember 100%, but I figure as much since the last page of credits, it's just almost impossible to read. It just feels like it was probably color on top of color. I don't know. Wait, hold on a ding-dang second. Yo, Chip, zoom in. Well, you look at that. I like that sort of thing. I don't recall seeing stuff like that anymore. Well, you get a neat little reward for taking the time to actually going through the whole manual and sifting through all the credits. Stuff like that makes me feel like a kid again, I swear. Whoa, would you look at that? I can jump, shoot rear missiles, go up on two wheels on either my left or right ones, and wait, I can use the DualShock controller? See, look at all this beautiful, vital information. To think, we got to a point where we don't do this kind of thing anymore. Okay, we're back in the game and I'm feeling real good about this. Off the bat, analog controls are amazing compared to the directional buttons. Not perfect, but definitely an improvement. Oh god, what's happening? Why am I being chased around by a steamroller? And it's got weapons it's using on me? And it's squishing me. I don't think this would be so bad if the damn thing wasn't faster than me. I mean, I had a bunch of times where it was right on my tail and it boosted so it could successfully run me over, quite literally. Not to mention, taking it on head first is pretty much impossible. The moment it realizes that you're right in front of it, it just starts firing and comes barreling at you. Oh god. Wait, how many lives do I have? Oh. Is there a checkpoint system or... Oh, it's one of those games. So, once you get game over, you're brought back to the menu and are at the mercy of your own hubris, due to whether or not you were mindful enough to save after each level you beat. Because if you don't, you're stuck going back to the last place you saved, whether you like it or not.
That seems pretty heavy, boss, especially with how long some of these levels are.
That's just the way it was, Chip. Video games used to be less worried about frustrating players and more about how to hook them and stretch out gameplay time. Okay, man, I managed to figure out the best way to tackle whoever that steamrolling bastard is. Make sure to annihilate the competition first, then keep yourself way ways from it, and fire all you've got while trying to avoid its fatal flattenings. I actually found that the Destroying Angel's special weapon was quite useful. It packs a wallop when it explodes, so much so that it sends enemies flying into the air. So it was extremely useful for when it was trying to barrel me over. I just sent out one of those halo things and right over my head. Whoa, what the? It's a bonus stage. Got money for destruction? Hell yeah, let me at him. Alright, so I gotta destroy all of these carnival/amusement park things in order to get some cold hard cash, which I think I get to keep. Because, you know, currency is actually the pretty important commodity for the game. It's how you get upgrades and repairs. Huh. You know, this isn't as exciting as I thought. It doesn't matter how much of a banger your background music is, though. I gotta say, it sounds kind of like an alternate entrance theme for Triple H.
Stop the video!
Oh, jeez! What happened? What did I do?
Just a precaution, boss. During the editing of the video, I found out that this is yet another actual song from another actual band.
Aw, man, is it another Mighty Mighty Boss Tone situation?
It looks that way.
Neon Nightmare? Well, that escalated quickly. Ah, yes. A Vegas hellscape. Or, you know, actual Vegas. I actually really like this. Lots of space to drive around in, spots to jump onto another ledge. You can even go inside some of the venues to get some money in, or even weaponry. Though they're quite small, so it can feel a little claustrophobic in there. Wait, what's that? What happened? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, god damn it. Well, I guess none of us gets that sweet tourist cash now. Yeah. You having fun up there, Captain Proton? Don't suppose I can do anything to convince you to come down. Okay, after all that nonsense, we run into Daddyland security. Nightshade is there to prevent us from proceeding any further. And boy, let me tell you, Nightshade ain't no joke. Tons of health and hard-hitting attacks makes it hard to stay alive, let alone being able to dish out any sort of offense. Eventually, and I mean eventually, I was able to get a leg up, and after a handful of tries, I became victorious. I ended up relying heavily on the homing missiles and Destroying Angels' special move to do any sort of serious damage from a distance. Woohoo! It's time for Eternal Acres. This looks like, it's a lot of hills. Like, seriously, it just seems like someone opened up, like, a large flat map and, like, this hill goes there, this hill goes there. It's kind of, like, sprinkled all over the place without any, like, rhyme or reason. And the hills are really high! I gotta, like, mash the gas button in order to get some traction to go up there, which is doubly hard when you have a vehicle that's not exactly fast. We got a few ruins here and there, a patch of graveyard in the middle, and a mausoleum that happens to have a weapon upgrade station.
Seems pretty dead to me.
Remind me to update your joke processor, because that joke was dead on arrival. Ah!
This is gonna get worse before it gets better, huh?
After that, it's SoCal, and it looks like an oil rig that was painted over to be some sort of attraction, with a flattering picture of Big Daddy himself. Ooh, ravishing, isn't it? After that, it's Hello Stone. I assume it's a version of Yellowstone, a sizable national park with a geyser and no railings, so you can easily fall off the ledges if you're not careful. Then we're tackling Quakeroni, which is either strongly based off of San Francisco, or it is San Francisco. To be honest, it can be hard to tell with this game sometimes. A big urban city with tall buildings everywhere, as well as a number of leveled ones that you can kind of go inside of just to reach higher places and other spots. Just some of the buildings just look straight up gutted. Next up is the Gulch. Apparently it's an annual shootout held by the AA of A. The reward is getting some money with every car eliminated, which admittedly is a bit harder in practice. With the exception of finding a few money symbols out in the open, the only way to get more money for weapons and repairs is to eliminate the competition. There's also some floating islands that hold even more power-ups and money, but they require a little platforming. Ah yes, platforming! Just what I expect out of my car combat game. Yeah, if you hadn't guessed, it's pretty hard to do given the game's physics. Okay, so I'm trying not to complain for the sake of complaining. I feel like constructive criticism is vital when it comes to looking at games, especially those from yonder year. But the thing with this is that this is introducing platforming, like Mario levels platforming, and it's never been introduced beforehand in any way, shape, or form. So it's like you had no way to kind of like perfect it to a degree or even get a sense that that's what you're supposed to do. So, you know, it's kind of ridiculous to that degree, especially because if you miss and you kind of fall down, you'd expect, the Gulch is over. I guess we just keep going on to the next level. We don't get our bonuses. 9! What happens is that counts as a death, which means it takes away from your like pool of lives that you have may or may not have assembled throughout your gameplay up until this point, which means if you had 0 lives, you die there, it's game over, and you either start from the beginning or you start from the last place you saved. That is pretty harsh. One thing that I noticed is all these bonus levels actually qualify as stage numbers, so they take up that little like meter that you see in each loading screen, which means we're on number 12, Nuke York. Quite aptly named, it seems as though these are the ruins of New York City. Large swaths of land with both skyscrapers and the ruins of skyscrapers, broken bridges, and a dried up Hudson River. Just like in all the other stages, no real context is given as to how the city got to this point. We just kind of assume devastation in general happened. Regardless, you don't have many secrets in this one beyond being able to blast some of the ruins, and, you know, that's it, pretty much. After all the mercs are taken care of, as written on the warning, you face Big Daddy himself, looking like he's controlling a pretty massive mech of some sort. I didn't realize I was playing Gundam. This mech has got a ridiculous array of weaponry that drains your health pretty dang quick, and is basically the hardest boss in the entire game, which is, you know, proper. I think it's the last boss of the game, though I'd argue not the fairest one. I mean, there's no way to get away from the attacks that he unleashes, namely the homing missile that does a considerable amount of damage and finds you no matter what you do unless you're hiding behind like a building or a piece of ruin. So fighting far away or up close is kind of like a losing proposition either way. What makes things even more challenging, as if they really need to be at this point, is that you only get a set number of money that you can pick up around the map with literally no way of making more, because there's no enemies to kill, no tourists to catch and just kind of mooch off a little bit of money from. So you can only upgrade weaponry and heal yourself so many times before there's just no more money anymore, and you're just out of luck. On top of all that, it looks like Big Daddy has 3 different forms: Big Mech, Flying Saucer type, and last but not least, Big Daddy on a jetpack. You defeat him finally after you get him past that one final hurdle of a gauge health bar. We're then treated to the final cutscene.
All right! You beat Big Daddy in his own game. and you can whack me with the ruler anytime. On behalf of the Amalgamated Association of Auto Mercenaries, I'd like to present you with this cheesy little trophy. It may not seem like much, but if you look close, you'll see the real reward.
Oh yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Most, if not all, characters will result in their trophies containing codes that you can enter in the password section, along with our host and presumably leader of the AA of A, giving each one kind of like their own little spiel, for each character. As far as the passwords go, they tend to unlock all sorts of things like secret vehicles, cheats, and even give you access to some of the game modes immediately instead of having to play through vacation mode to get them. Oh man, okay. So now let me just say this. This game, in my humble opinion, is one of the quintessential middle-of-the-road PlayStation games from the 90s. It had everything. Heavily inspired by other games in the genre at the time. Completely out there in its game character and art design. And completely and utterly unhinged. I just wish there was a bit more focus on the story. Not even has to have a lot, just a tiny bit. Just fill us in a little bit. What exactly happened to the world? Why are the masses kind of like being described as being in squalor while others are like, I'm gonna pay for an auto mercenary because I've got enough money for that? Anyway, those are all minor gripes. Because in the end, it is what it is. A fun, wacky car combat game that isn't afraid to go crazy, go nuts. Oh, right, and before I forget, let's watch that super secret we found in the instruction manual.
What? There's only one of you? Let's rock. Suck it down. Who wants some?
Oh yeah, that's Duke Nukem all right. Should I do one of his games? To be honest, I never played a proper Duke Nukem game before, so... Well, I mean, at least not all the way through. It would be an interesting experience, I think. It'd be new for me, same for you, and you can yell at me about all the things I'm missing.
Just make sure to get the outfit. You gotta have the outfit.
I don't know, Chip. No amount of crunches in the world is gonna give me that Duke Nukem physique. At least not unless I want to go on another 4-year hiatus, which I'm trying to avoid in general. Anyway, I think that's about as much as I got for this game. Rogue Trip Vacation 2012. A pretty fun game that can be pretty challenging at times, but all in all, a solid pick if you want to go down a hole of 90s nostalgia. Thank you as always for putting this video on. These are all very time consuming to put together, and the fact that people watch them at all is just a big motivator, and it fills me with a lot of happiness, let me tell you. I'll probably stick to some retro games for a while because some of the newer games are just too dang long. However, I don't think I want to let that concept go completely, so what I think I'm going to do is if a game seems to be particularly long, I'm just going to Let's Play it. Because I got a Let's Play channel. That gets updated fairly regularly because it's a lot easier to edit a Let's Play than it is to, do one of these. Script writing, footage gathering, and then editing all at once. It takes time. But, I feel like if I can work smart, do one of these every once in a while, and then focus on, letting people hear me suffer in the other channel, I think I can make it work. I'm gonna try to make it work. That's all we can do in life, try. Anywho, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button to let you know when the next video comes out. And that's it for me. But remember,
Stay safe and keep on gaming.